Loyalist College, Loyalist College em Canadá, e ele vai contar um pouco para a gente sobre a experiência dele como estudante internacional e o quanto isso agrega no seu, na sua vida acadêmica, na sua vida profissional e na sua vida pessoal. So, Darcy, please, you can start. It's your...
Well, thank you very much for the introduction, for the opportunity to be here. Hola, hello everyone, bonjour. So my name is Darcy. I am the International Recruitment Manager at Loyalist College. And I'm also a professor in the Tourism Management Program at Royal Roads University, both institutions in Canada. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to be talking with all of you in Brazil. Thank you, Maria Clara, for saying hello. So again, it's a nice opportunity to talk with you about international education, especially as we're moving through the COVID pandemic, and people are starting slowly but surely again to think about their next steps, studying perhaps in places like Canada, the US, the UK, or elsewhere. Of course, you have lots of good institutions, public and private, in Brazil. But today, as someone who has worked in countries all around the world, I've been a professor and program director at institutions in Canada, the US, China, Brazil, France, and worked elsewhere in education in other countries. There are literally a world of exciting opportunities for you to explore. And so today I wanted to talk with you about international education, have a focus, of course, on Canada, because I'm a Canadian guy. I'm working at 2 Canadian institutions, and also because there are lots of growing opportunities for Brazilians to come and study in Canada. Canada has been the #1 destination for Brazilians to go and to study, to do camps, or to do English language, or to come study at high school, college, or university. And so I thought it would be appropriate, again, for all of those reasons, to talk in particular about Canada as a more general case study, talk about some of the differences between colleges and universities, and then, of course, to focus on Loyalist College in particular, so that we can talk a little bit more about the kinds of programs that one specific institution with which I work has, and in which you may be interested. Eu falo português também, então, se vocês não estão me entendendo, por favor, manda mensagens em português, in inglês. It would be with pleasure to talk more with you. Okay, so this is just a quick look at some of the study options in Canada, and of course, Canada is a big country like Brazil, with colleges and universities across the whole country, as you can see here. And so just to share with you a very good resource if you're looking for other types of study opportunities in Canada, of course, stay in contact with FEG. They have lots of good partners. We partner, Loyalist College partners with FEG. And so, with their partners, they can certainly talk with you about your study options in Canada and elsewhere. But you can also do some research on your own on this website, educanada.ca. And you'll be able to search by programs, by location, if you want to go to one city as opposed to another. And you'll be able to get lots of information on this website, including information about scholarships, bolsas, which I know that, of course, you're all interested in as well. And again, this is a an image of Canada and the institutions of higher education in Canada that I took off of the educanada.ca website. So you'll be able to see those, and you can click on these to see what the institution is, what kind of programs they have, the cost, and all of this kind of information. Just a moment now that I would like to take in order to give you some clarification about the differences between colleges and universities in Canada. In the United States, colleges and universities are quite the same thing. And although in Canada, the education system continues to evolve and change, so that the institutions become more and more like one another, it's still important to note that today a college is a place where you're going to go get a hands-on learning. Colleges offer usually more professional, technical, IT, or trade types of programs, and I'll explain more about that in a subsequent slide. Whereas universities offer the more traditional academic programs. And so let me give you some examples. If you're at high school in Brazil and you have classes like biology and geography and history, Portuguese or English language literature, those kinds of programs, classes, then you would want to, and if you want to study those, you would go to a university in Canada to do a biology degree, to do a degree in history, economics, this kind of thing. Whereas if you wanted to study things like biotechnology or business or marketing, computer game design, animation, these kinds of things, you would probably go to a college in Canada. Now, there are certainly many other differences. Price is one of them. The cost of colleges generally is cheaper than a university, not always, depending on the location. But those are some of the differences that you should know already. So when you're at the website, educanada.com, when you're putting in, you can at one moment do a filter search also by the type of institution, whether you want to study at a university or at a college or both, and you'll see the different kinds of options that you get. If I can bring you now to a more focused case study, where you'll be able to see all of this in action. Let me take you now to this specific college, Loyalist College, which is in Ontario, Canada. And I'll talk more about the location. Ontario is the province. A province, of course, is like one of the Brazilian states. And we're located in the small city of Belleville in Ontario, in Canada. You can see here in this image, the campus. You can see that we're surrounded by a lot of green, a lot of forests, a lot of water. We've got a bicycle trail that comes into campus here. We have student residences on campus. We have a sports dome, and then of course the main campus where your classes take place. Let me move on to the next slide to also show you a little bit more clearly where we are, right? So you might know about the cities of Toronto or Vancouver, maybe Montreal in Canada. We are located, in fact, in between Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. You can see the province of Ontario here, and we're located just down here on the northern part of Lake Ontario, and across the lake from us is the state of New York, which you can see a little bit here. So you see a little bit better the city of Belleville, where Loyalist College is, the lake. So you see the city is on the lake. Loyalist College is over this direction a little bit. And if this bridge was 65 kilometers long, which it's not, this bridge could take you all the way to New York in the United States. So we're close neighbors to the US. just to highlight a little bit here, the kinds of students that study in Canada. I mentioned, of course, that Canada is a super popular destination for Brazilian students. Loyalist College welcomes Brazilian students as well. But we have students from literally all over the world, from places like China and the Philippines to South Africa, Nigeria, Argentina, etc. And so even though we're a small institution in a small city, we have students really coming from around the world, also because it's a very nice and convenient and easy place to go, right? You saw on this earlier slide when we're talking about small. And of course, we appreciate that not everybody is interested in going to the big cities. You might not be in a big city where you live in Brazil. And so we represent that kind of opportunity for people who are not looking to go to a place like Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal, but come instead to a smaller city and a smaller college campus. I should say it's a small city, but of course we have everything that you could want and need, from shopping to cinema to restaurants to sports facilities, etc. And it's a very friendly community, easy to get around, and of course a lower cost of living, which is something that your parents will perhaps be interested in when they start looking at the cost of studying in a place like Canada. And I'll show you those moving forward. So not to talk too much about each and every slide, because I don't want to bore you to tears, but just to mention some of the kinds of scholarships that we have. We have scholarships for athletic students. We actually have a Brazilian volleyball player who's here studying with us right now, and he was able to get 2 different athletic scholarships to come and play volleyball for the Loyalist College varsity team. And you can see that we have some athletic scholarships in some of these other varsity sports. And then of course, as we have students coming from all around the world, we have other sports that people are interested in playing, but for which we don't have an official varsity team. And so you can find these, of course, these kinds of activities in campuses across the country. When you think about Canada, I bet that you don't necessarily think about this kind of beach image. Maybe looks a little bit even like a Brazilian beach, but with no Brazilians, right? But we're located, actually, because we're on the water, we're actually very close to some beautiful beach areas here. And as we move through the spring and get into the summer months in the Northern Hemisphere, we like to take our students, or our students like to go and make different trips. And of course, we as a college organize different cultural activities and events for all of our students, Canadian students and international students. So fun things to do to keep people occupied. And you're here to study, but of course you're coming to a new country. So you're here also as what we refer to as an educational tourist, right? You're studying with us, but you want to visit the local region, the area, go to the cities close by, etc. And know that Loyalist College and Belleville are easy to access because you can take the train from Toronto to Belleville and then go on to Ottawa or Montreal, like you can drive, like you can come here by bus, etc. Different ways to come easily to the campus and to be here. These are some different construction activities that are taking place right now. A new culinary lab and market for our culinary program for the students who want to learn how to become chefs and cooks and maybe open their own restaurants or work in restaurants or that kind of thing. We're also finishing up the new health and wellness center, and I'll show you some of the programs in these places as well. Let's see, I don't know if the the video would necessarily work here, but I'll be sure to send some videos so that you can see a little bit differently the campus on our YouTube site as well. And please know that if you go to Loyalist College on YouTube, you'll be able to see the student residence video, the campus tour, and more about the programs. But these are the 2 student residences that we have on campus as well. It's a great, if you're thinking about studying abroad, whether you come to Loyalist College or anywhere else in Canada or around the world, think about starting in the student residence on the campus to which you go, because it's a great way to make friends fast and to be located right on campus. So walking to your classes is super easy. Everything is going to be very convenient. And again, it helps you when you're coming from Brazil to go into a new country, to make things easy for yourself. You go to campus to study, but you're also living on campus while you're adjusting and adapting to your new life in a new country. Okay. Remember that, of course, in Canada, we speak either English and or French. So if you go to the French-speaking side of Quebec, which is where I'm from, you would have French language requirements. If you come to the rest of English-speaking Canada, of course, you would have English language requirements. And so I imagine that many of you are already familiar with these kinds of tests that you may be doing at your high schools, tests like IELTS or TOEFL, for example, Cambridge, Pearson, Duolingo. And you can see some of the English language requirements. And these are quite common for all the colleges and all the universities across the country. So a college in Vancouver, like Loyalist College, has very similar types of English language requirements, as you can see here. And now to give you a little bit of a look here across a number of our programs. We have 65 different programs at Loyalist College in all kinds of different areas. And I won't talk about all of them here, but just to pass through these slides and highlight some of our more popular programs as we go through. So I was mentioning in some of the differences between universities and colleges that you could do biotechnology at a college, and biotechnology happens to be our most popular program at Loyalist College. A lot of opportunities, especially because and before and after we move and continue to move through the pandemic, pharmaceutical companies, agricultural companies, chemical companies, and others hire biotechnicians, biotechnologists to do work in their laboratories. And so this is a program that we offer. We also have, as you can see, programs in chemical engineering. And then if you're someone who likes to be outside, remember the image of Loyalist College with the forest and the lake. We also have an environmental science program that could be perhaps also of interest. And then moving along into some of our other programs in building sciences, so programs in architecture or civil construction or survey engineering, business programs, of course, business if you're thinking about things like accounting or administration, marketing, finance, and or other. Business programs are perhaps the kind of programs that you find both also at universities and colleges very regularly, very easily, because there's a lot of, as we all know, a lot of demand for business and business management programs from students around the world, and of course in industry. Some other programs in community service, if you like to work with children, if you like to work with people, these are kinds of programs in which you may be interested. And then the health and wellness programs. I mentioned the Culinary Program, but we also have some fitness and health and or sport and recreation and leisure type programs if you like to be more active, if you want to work in these kinds of areas. And again, I won't talk a lot about these programs, but certainly ask questions, and remember that any kind of all the information you can find going to any of these program websites. If you go to Loyalist College and then click on the programs, talk with FEG if you have an interest in any of these programs, and they can certainly help to tell you more about the program, and or ask me if they need any help or otherwise. As we're spending more and more time also these last 2 years in the pandemic in front of the computer and on our cell phones, we have a lot of interest in media studies program. Anything that has to do with animation, game development, game design, and then of course filmmaking, television, and what we call today digital content creation. If you're watching Disney or Netflix or Amazon or any of these platforms, right, you're talking about digital content creation. And so we have a media studies department on campus with all of the technology, all of the programs and equipment that you would want and need in order to learn what you need in these kinds of programs. And we have a Brazilian student actually who just completed the filmmaking and digital content creation program. And if you've seen the film Batman versus Superman, which I think you might have, know that one of our professors who teaches in the filmmaking and the game design and development program did the animation for that film. So when you're doing animation, you could be working and you'll be learning about animation techniques for the gaming industry and also for the film industry. Other programs in which you may be interested: computer-related programs, some other electrical manufacturing engineering programs, and we have a new program in something called Mechatronics, which is kind of a combination of electrical and mechanical engineering and using robotics. And so this is something that's brand new at Loyalist College, and this program, and one of the differences or one of the unique aspects of colleges in this regard is that this program was designed with the Siemens multinational company that you know also in Brazil. And so not only do you get a diploma in mechatronics, but you get 2 globally recognized mechatronics certifications that will help you to get jobs in this industry. And then lastly, but not least, is a list of our postgraduate programs. I won't talk about these here because, of course, I realize and understand that most of you are in high school that are here with us today. And so the previous programs are what we call programs, undergraduate programs, or what you refer to in Brazil as programas de graduação. And then these are our programs are in postgraduate programs, or what you know as programas de pós, or postgraduação. And so these programs are available to students and people who already have previous degrees and are looking to do a kind of specialization, right? So in colleges, most programs have what are called CoOps, or work placements. These are opportunities that allow you to take what you're learning in the classroom and integrate those and use those in a job. And this is, of course, a valuable way to help you to get a job. And remember that in Canada, one of the other reasons that people from Brazil and all over the world are so interested in coming here is because in Canada, you're allowed to study and work at the same time, which is not the case if you're studying in some other countries around the world, many countries for that matter. And so you can work on campus, you can work off campus while you're studying in Canada, which is, of course, an interesting opportunity for people, especially if you want to get more professional experience, improve your language and other professional skills, and of course, make money, right? And speaking about money, I mentioned the athletic scholarships, but know that we also have other kinds of scholarships, academic scholarships to which you can apply. And at this point in time, we're offering scholarships for international students to live on campus, to help you benefit from that opportunity and to stay at least for your first semester, if not your first year, living on campus. And so again, whether you're studying at another institution in Canada or elsewhere around the world, inquire if you're interested and or need about scholarship opportunities. Because there are these kinds of opportunities available, and they're always interesting, of course, for us. How much does it cost to study in Canada, and specifically at Loyalist College? At colleges, the prices are quite similar. So what I'm showing you here certainly is very comparable to what other colleges, certainly in Ontario, cost. You're looking at an annual tuition of 14,000 Canadian dollars. And then when you take into consideration student service or ancillary fees, these give you access, for example, to the gym on campus, the health center on campus, and all the other services. And then the international student health insurance, you're looking at a cost per year, which is the way that we operate in Canada, different than in Brazil, where you pay by month, of 16,500 Canadian dollars, which equals per month less than 6,000 reais per month, just to help you to put that into perspective. So 16,500 Canadian per year to study at Loyalist College is equal to about 5,600 reais per month in Brazil and in, of course, your currency. Let me help you also, though, to understand, because many of you might come to Canada because you're interested in studying, but you will also take advantage of the opportunities to work. If you have a student job, or if you're working at a place like Starbucks off campus, if you're working and studying as you're allowed to do as an international student, I made the calculations for the province of Ontario, where you earn about $15 per hour. And making that calculation per the number of hours you're allowed to work per week, per month, and then throughout the whole year, you could make upwards of $20,000 at a student job working in Canada. For those people who are doing programas de postgraduate degrees, with more experience, with a prior degree, they could, of course, get better jobs making more money. And so just to help you put that kind of thing in perspective, remember that also, because we partner with FEG, that if you are interested in studying and applying at least to Loyalist College, that you could apply for free. So because we have this partnership specifically with FEG, applying to Loyalist College would cost you nothing. That way you could at least see, if you were interested in one of our programs, if you could get accepted. And of course, working with the folks at FEG, because they know us, because they know our programs, because they know our application process, they would be able to help you to apply and improve your chances of getting accepted. And that they could do with all of their partners, again, whether it's in Canada or elsewhere. So something to also keep in mind. And with that, I will stop talking and wanted to leave some time for any questions that you may have. If you're interested in any of our programs, again, continue talking with FEG, and would be with pleasure to welcome you to Canada sometime in the future. Let me go into the chat because I see there's something here. Okay, somebody just again saying hello, somebody saying wow. Feel free though, if you have any questions, to type in any questions that you may have, and or if you'd like to turn on your mic, feel free to do so. Don't be shy. I will stop sharing here. And again, if you don't have any questions, then of course, feel free to keep in contact should questions come up later. And let me thank you here for your time and your attention. Okay, Susie, you are asking about enrollment dates. Good question. Thank you for that question. We have programs at Loyalist College that start in September and January and May. So we accept applications all throughout the year, and depending upon when you're willing, ready, and able to start, you could start at any of those times. The majority of our programs start in September, with a good number of them still starting in January. And so those are the biggest enrollment dates that we have, September and January, although we do have students starting new programs here coming up very soon in May. Do we accept the NM? We don't need the NM in Canada. So what do we need as part of your application? You could certainly submit it, although we don't necessarily know what it is, because what we need from international applicants are your high school diplomas and your transcripts. Your transcripts are your grades. I think you call it a histórica de notas, excuse my Portuguese. And so for that, you would submit those, you would upload those digitally in Portuguese, but then you also need to get them translated if they're not already available in English. And then that, along with your online application and your passport, the photo page of your passport, are all that you need to apply to come and study in Canada. You don't need the NM, you don't need the SAT, you don't need the ACT, you don't need any of those tests. Do we have 2+2? If I understand what you mean, we do. And 2+2, what I understand is, can you come here to do 2 years of study and then transfer to another institution? Is that what you're asking, to do another 2 years? If it is, okay, thank you, Maria Clara. You can do that. You can study with us for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, and then transfer, or you can complete your program with us, depending what you're interested in. But transferring between institutions is certainly very easy and something with which we can help you. And we can help you even to start your studies in Canada, but then to transfer to another institution with one of our partners internationally, for example, as well. Okay, what else? What else? Oh, well, you're very welcome. I'm getting lots of thank yous. I appreciate that. Thank you. Again, appreciate your time, your attention. Somebody asking, Gabriela asking to study art, to be an artist. Is Canada a good destination? Yes, I would recommend that you go to that website, again, educanada.ca, and you can do a program search for art. One college that I know that you could, at which you could study art already would be this one. Humber College in Toronto would be certainly one where you could study art. They have art, theater, dance, music. And of course, Toronto being Canada's biggest city would be certainly an excellent place for you to come and study and be an artist and work as an artist as well, definitely. What is the English test accepted in our school? Good, Leah. Again, we work with all the tests that you know, from TOEFL to IELTS to Pearson to Cambridge to Duolingo, and or if you've done another test, if your high school uses another test, let us know, and we can certainly find the equivalencies to make sure and understand what kind of level you have and if it's the level that you need to be successful in our program. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you very much. Okay, well, perfect. Again, everyone, thank you for your time, for your attention. Muito obrigado. Have a good rest of your afternoon and enjoy the weekend. And one more time, we look forward to seeing you in Canada someday. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Darcy.
You're welcome. Thank you
Thank you
guys
for
again.
presenting Canada and Loyalist College. So thank you everyone for another mock class. See you next week. Bye, Darcy. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Obrigada, pessoal. Falou.